Welcome back to another episode of The Bark. I'm Kelly Robertson.
And I'm Emma Dressel. Today we will be covering a little bit of everything, from the men's and women's Final Fours to baseball's opening day. Let's pass it over for the first story of the day.
With a long college basketball season almost over, the men's basketball tournament has now reached its final stage in Houston. With 4 teams remaining, the Final Four is ready to go. Now we're going to take a look at the teams left so we can get a look at who will be crowned a national champion.
After a long tournament, only 4 teams remain, so let's meet the competitors. First up is Florida Atlantic, the Cinderella story of this year's tournament. As a 9 seed, they defeated Memphis, Fairleigh Dickinson, Tennessee, and Kansas State to get to this point. They're gritty, and they always find a way to win. Led by Coach Dusty May and guard John L. Davis, let's see if their Cinderella run can continue a little bit longer. They're playing San Diego State, who defeated Charleston, Furman, Alabama, and Creighton to get to the Final Four. Defense is their trademark, and they've shut down some of the red-hot offenses in the tournament. Their offense may not be the most explosive, but when you limit teams to under 60 points, you'll always have a chance to win the ballgame. On the other side of the bracket, you have Miami. The 5 seed defeated Drake, Indiana, Houston, and Texas to reach their first Final Four. Their trademark is their guard play, led by Isaiah Wong, Nigel Pack, and Jordan Miller. But don't forget about the big man, Norchad Omier. The combination of these guys creates the perfect storm for the Hurricanes. They'll take on the mighty UConn Huskies, who have absolutely dominated everybody in their path on the way to the Final Four. They've defeated Iona, St. Mary's, Arkansas, and Gonzaga to get to this point, and it hasn't been even close, defeating everybody by a margin of 15 or more. Adama Sanogo and Jordan Hawkins creates a dangerous two-headed monster that's a force to absolutely be reckoned with.
It's been a wild tournament so far, so who will be crowned national champion is anyone's guess. Now back to Kelly and Emma at the desk.
Thanks, Drew. Now let's pass it over to Emma and Bella for a recap of baseball's opening day.
Major League Baseball's 2023 opening day began with all 30 teams in action on Thursday, March 30th. The first game of a marathon of 162-game campaign that every team hopes to take them to October. We have some new faces along with new rules that were put in place as the pitch clock kept games shorter and the players were getting penalized for infractions for the very first time. Here are some of my key moments to the day. Reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge homered in the New York Yankees win, starting 2023 off with a bang after signing a $360 million contract in the offseason. He hit an AL record 62 home runs last season and also led the league in 5 other offensive categories for New York, which is seeking its second straight AL East crown. Another Yankee had a day in shortstop Alan Volpe. He shined in his MLB debut, drawing a walk with a stolen base and the Yankees' 5-0 win. The defending World Series champions lost their home opener to the White Sox as Andrew Vaughn was the hero. He hit a tie-breaking 2-run double in the top of the 9th, and the Sox held on for a 3-2 opening day win. Yordan Alvarez hit his first homer of the year in the bottom of the 9th to cut the deficit, but Houston was unable to pull back another run. Coming off his MVP performance in the WBC, Shohei Ohtani started his campaign on Thursday against the Oakland Athletics by holding the A's hitless through 3 innings. He ended the day with 10 strikeouts in 6 scoreless innings, but ultimately the A's came up on top 2-1. The Dodgers are looking a little different this year without the faces of Trey Turner, Cody Bellinger, and Justin Turner, but started the 2023 season out with a win over Arizona. Catcher Will Smith went 3 for 5, driving in 3 runs, and outfielder James Outman homered in his season debut as well.
Home run, James Outman, his first at Dodger Stadium.
The Rangers rallied to grab a win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Robbie Grossman and Brad Miller homered in a big comeback for Texas after prized acquisition Jacob deGrom struggled in his debut. The 2-time Cy Young winner gave up 6 hits, all for extra bases, and was charged with 5 runs in 3 2/3 innings, including Alec Bohm's 2-run homers. Things were unraveled for deGrom in the 3rd, giving up back-to-back triples to Brandon Marsh and Trey Turner to start the inning, with Turner coming around to score on deGrom's wild pitch. The Phillies led 5-0 heading into the bottom of the 4th, but Texas scored 9 runs in the innings to go ahead. Dansby Swanson delivered in the Cubs' opening day, with Swanson having 3 hits and Marcus Stroman worked 6 scoreless innings, breezing past baseball's first pitch clock violation on his way to a 4-0 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers on Thursday. Swanson's first hit with his new team was an RBI single that sparked a 4-run third. He tacked on 2 more singles and played his usual solid defense, including the turn on a key double play. Swanson signed a $177 million deal with the Cubs in the offseason. And lastly, the Cincinnati Reds were not able to turn their chapter from last year's 100-loss season. Reds pitchers issued 9 walks to Pittsburgh Pirates hitters, and Hunter Greene and Fernando Cruz combined to walk 4 consecutive batters on a 3-run 4th inning, which played a huge part in the Reds' 5-4 loss in front of a sold-out crowd of 44,000 people at Great American Ballpark, which happened to be the largest regular season crowd in the history of the ballpark. We are looking forward to an exciting season and have a long way to go. Now I'll pass it off to Zoe.
Starting off with number 1, freshman Kate Kiptrowski. Kate was named the Big East Freshman of the Week as she filled up the stat sheet in a win against Xavier 19-12. At number 2, we have another freshman, Kenny Lesor, who took medalist honors at the IU Kokomo Spring Invitational, shooting an even par 72, which gave him a 5-shot victory. At number 3, Angelina Ellis got her second Big East Women's Track Athlete of the Week. And then at number 4, Natalie Bosing earned Big East Singles Player of the Week, winning her last 5 matches. And finally, rounding it out at number 5, Colin All hit a 3-run home run in the 8th inning to propel Butler to an 8-5 win over Cincinnati. That's all I have here. Back to Kelly and Emma.
Thanks, Zoe. And that concludes this week's episode of The Bark. I'm Emma Dressel.
And I'm Kelly Robertson. We'll see you guys next week for our next episode.